The rain fell hard over Jakarta that night. Heavy drops splashed on the glowing lights of Gelora Bung Karno Stadium, but no one moved. Not one of the more than 100,000 fans even thought about leaving. They stood there, soaked, shivering, screaming, and waiting for a single moment that would be remembered forever. The sky was gray. The sound of thunder rolled like a prelude to a miracle, and then, just as the screens flickered, the lights went out. A deep bass echoed through the speakers. The heartbeat of the city seemed to stop. And then it happened. A single voice whispered through the rain. It was BLACKPINK. From the opening beat, the crowd erupted. The Deadline World Tour had arrived in Jakarta, and the city was alive like never before. The energy inside GBK could not be contained. Every flash of light reflected against the raindrops, turning the whole stadium into a sea of diamonds. Lisa's voice cut through the storm. Jennie's rap burned through the night. Rosa's vocals soared above the rain, and Jisoo's smile melted every heart in the crowd. It wasn't just a concert. It was history in motion. The rain, instead of stopping the show, became part of the performance itself. People from all over Indonesia had come. Fans from Surabaya, Bandung, and Bali. Even some who flew in from Singapore and Malaysia just to witness this moment. The Deadline World Tour had already shaken Seoul, Tokyo, and Bangkok, but something about Jakarta was different. Maybe it was the weather, or maybe it was the way the audience refused to surrender to the storm. Everyone was drenched, but no one cared. They were living a dream. Cameras were foggy, makeup washed away, but the cheers kept rising higher and higher. The lights burst again as the girls walked to the edge of the stage. Lisa reached out, waving to the fans who had waited since morning under the pouring rain. Jennie shouted, "Jakarta, are you ready?" The crowd answered with a roar that shook the ground. Rose, with her hair dripping wet, looked up and smiled as lightning streaked across the sky behind her. It was cinematic, unreal, and powerful. Jisoo whispered into the mic, "Thank you for staying with us, even in the rain." The stadium exploded with love. Every performance hit harder than the last. Pink Venom, How You Like That, Kill This Love, Type a Girl, and the emotional solo stages brought the crowd to tears. Fans screamed every lyric as if their voices could reach the heavens. The sound of tens of thousands singing together under the storm became the rhythm of Jakarta that night. The city was alive, the night electric, and every second felt like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. In the middle of the show, something magical happened. The big screen played a teaser, dark visuals, slow-motion clips, the words "Deadline." The next ERA flashed for a second. Fans gasped, wondering if BLACKPINK was hinting at something new, maybe an album, maybe a solo comeback, maybe something bigger. Social media went crazy in real time. Hashtags like #BLACKPINK in Jakarta, #BLACKPINK rain stage, and #GBK 100K trended globally within minutes. Clips of Lisa dancing through the rain, Jennie smiling under her hoodie, Rosa's drenched hair glowing under the lights, and Jisoo wiping raindrops off her mic filled every feed. The production team didn't stop despite the weather. Every drop of rain looked like glitter under the stage lights. The sound system roared perfectly in sync, and the LED screens displayed visuals that turned the storm into art. It felt as if nature itself was performing with BLACKPINK. The rain hit the stage, bounced up, and created waves of light as if the world itself was dancing. As the night went deeper, you could see the emotion in their eyes. Lisa looked out at the endless sea of fans, her voice trembling slightly as she said, "Jakarta, you are amazing." Jennie added, "This is one of the craziest and most beautiful nights ever." Rose smiled and said softly, "Even the rain can't stop us tonight." And Jisoo, in her calm elegance, said, "We'll never forget this moment." The crowd responded with chants of "BLACKPINK, BLACKPINK, BLACKPINK," echoing through the rain-soaked arena. Fans waved light sticks that glowed pink and white, shimmering against the stormy sky. Drones flew overhead, capturing the view. GBK looked like a galaxy from above. Every light a star, every voice a part of the constellation called Blink. Then came the encore. The screens turned black, the crowd started chanting again, and suddenly fireworks burst above the stadium. Raindrops sparkled like tiny comets as the girls came back out for the final performance. Forever Young played, and it was pure emotion. Fans hugged, cried, sang louder than ever. It was not just a concert anymore. It was unity. It was love, music, and rain becoming one story. As the final notes echoed, Rose's voice faded into the sound of rain. The lights dimmed, and for a moment, the entire stadium was silent except for the sound of water falling on thousands of ponchos and umbrellas. Jennie bowed deeply, Lisa waved both hands to every corner, Jisoo blew a kiss, and Rose whispered, "Thank you, Jakarta." The crowd answered with thunderous cheers. When the lights finally came back on, fans were still standing, still clapping, still crying. They knew they had witnessed something unforgettable. The Deadline World Tour in Jakarta wasn't just another stop. It was the heartbeat of a generation that refused to give up even when the sky opened up. Later that night, videos of the concert flooded every platform. Fans around the world commented how surreal it looked. BLACKPINK performing in the rain with perfect synchronization, smiles never fading, energy never dropping. The rain made it legendary. Comment sections filled with words like iconic, historic, and goosebumps. News outlets called it one of the most visually stunning concerts ever held in Southeast Asia. And still, the story didn't end there. Rumors began to swirl online about what the Deadline teaser meant. Was it a hint at a new chapter for BLACKPINK? A new era, a new album, or maybe a solo comeback? Nobody knew, and that mystery only made fans want more. The curiosity grew, spreading fast across fan bases, TikTok edits, and fan cams that hit millions of views overnight. The next morning, Jakarta still felt the echo of the night before. Streets were wet, posters torn by the rain, but hearts were full. Fans who attended couldn't stop replaying the memories. Some said it felt spiritual, like nature itself wanted to celebrate with BLACKPINK. Others said it was destiny that rain fell during their biggest show, turning pain into passion, chaos into beauty. BLACKPINK proved once again why they are more than just idols. They are symbols of resilience, art, and power. The rain didn't stop them, it crowned them. The Deadline World Tour in Jakarta became a statement to the world that no matter the storm, their connection with fans stands unbreakable. And as the final images of the night replay in millions of hearts, Lisa's spinning in the rain, Jennie's laugh echoing through the mic, Rose's glowing eyes under the lightning, Jisoo's gentle smile. One truth remains. BLACKPINK didn't just perform in Jakarta. They made history. SO if you were there. You'll never forget the sound of that storm mixing with music, the sight of the lights reflecting in puddles, and the feeling of being part of something eternal. And if you weren't, you can only imagine what it felt like when BLACKPINK shook Jakarta in the rain, because some moments don't just happen. They define an era. Stay tuned, because what happened that night might only be the beginning. BLACKPINK's next chapter could be closer than anyone thinks. The storm has passed, but the world is still trembling from the echo of that unforgettable night in Jakarta. And somewhere beyond the bright city lights, whispers began to spread. Was this truly the end, or the beginning of something even greater? Fans believed the rain was a sign, a symbol that something new was coming. Every drop carried a promise. The world had witnessed BLACKPINK's power once again, and Jakarta became the heartbeat of that legend. The story isn't over. It's only just begun.